Of Rusty Clanton. And you may, if you've been listening for a while, you know I play him quite often because we can't be told often enough how awesome we are, right? And how much, no matter what is going on in your life, how much you can conquer whatever it is that you want, right? As long as your goals are realistic, that's the key. You know, no matter what, I don't think you're going to come across a unicorn, right? You know, if you only have your grade 12 education, you know, chances are no time soon you would be an astronaut or a brain surgeon or whatever. But if that's really what your heart is set for and set on with due diligence, it can happen. Anything can happen. But it all starts within, right? If your mind isn't in the game, it's not going to work. And that's always the way, right? You have to believe in yourself. You have to have some confidence. You have to, you know, be able to know as sure as you know that you're sitting in the chair you're sitting in right now. Know that you can accomplish whatever it is that your heart is after. Whatever it is that you want. Whether it's a relationship, a job, a career, a certain place to live, some sort of status. Anything, you can have it. But, you know, like anything else, be careful what you wish for. Right? You know, sometimes you're not looking at the whole package and what comes with it. Or sometimes we falsely attach happiness to things we think we want that really, that's not where the happiness is. There's a lot of miserable, lonely, incredibly rich people, right? There are a lot of famous, lonely people who have access to so much, but they're so famous and surrounded by so much fakery, they don't even know who to trust, who not to trust. Look at all those famous child stars. And besides, you know, all this stuff that's coming out now, look at, you know, like Michael Jackson, how lonely he was. Really, he had all that property, all that stuff, all that money. But you're so lonely because you've been screwed over so many times. I mean, that's the reality, right? So, you know, careful what you wish for. If you want to be famous, do you really want to be famous? Do you really want the paparazzi all over you? Do you want to, you know, say, okay, I want to be famous? And, you know, we were talking a little earlier about going to the movies and, you know, do we see Jumanji or do we see Pitch Perfect 3 and da-da-da-da. Well, you know what? It's a whole different thing when you're famous, isn't it? As soon as everything changes, then you have to rent the whole theater. Wow. What a pain in the butt that is. Not the same experience, right? Everything changes. Having to go, what was the one I was reading about somebody? And everybody was all in a kerfluffle about it. But it was going to the zoo after hours. Like, wow, that is just, I don't know, like, I want to be somewhere in the middle. You know what I mean? Like, I'd love to be rich and I'd love to be known, but I don't want all that other stuff. So, you know, you got to really think about that, right? And think about, do you want to be followed? Do you want, you know, people climbing in the trees outside of your house to see what's going on? You know, so that's a trade-off, right? There's always a yin and a yang to everything, a good and a bad, a positive and a negative. But our purpose here right now is good news only. So I have it all ready for you here. Lots of good stuff going on in the world. And lots of stuff that is good for the greater good of all people. That's the thing. That's what we need to look at. It's not about you and it's not about me. It's about our children, our grandchildren, the greater good of everybody. If that means I have to go without something or my life has to be a little different so that the greater good of the whole world, you know, like I would do that. I have no issue doing that because I need to look at the bigger picture. And that's my own opinion, my own, I believe my purpose on this planet, to uplift and inspire and motivate. But it's not about me. It's about the people I can help. The people, the positive ripples, that good old energy I love to talk about, right? So here's some good stuff. You know, we have really messed this planet up. Not me as in me and you personally, but over generations, right? The dumping, the good ideas that we thought were good ideas, but they're really not good ideas. So it's time for change. Time to say, you know what? I got a little egg on my face. That wasn't a great idea. Now let's fix things. So the UK government has just joined the ranks of countries and organizations that have banned the use of plastic microbeads from being used in cosmetics. Microbeads, which are made from ground plastic pellets, are used in products ranging from facial scrubs to toothpaste. They don't break down in water treatment plants, and, though they're not toxic, harmful chemicals can stick to the microbeads and can be eaten by marine life. The contamination is then passed up the food chain, even to humans who eat seafood. In addition to dozens of cosmetic companies pledging to ban the use of microbeads from their products, the USA passed legislation that prohibited the manufacturing and sale of microbead products in 2015. The UK's ban, which was originally passed in 2016, will initially prohibit the manufacturing of microbead products, while a ban on product sales will go into full effect in July. The world's oceans are some of our most valuable natural assets, and I am determined we act now to tackle the plastic that devastates our previous marine life, says the UK's Environmental Minister, Therese Coffey, according to The Guardian. Now we have reached this important milestone, we will explore how we can build on our world-leading ban and tackle other forms of plastic waste. Fantastic, right? Moving forward, let's clean this place up. Next up, while this grocery store could have simply trashed all the food in their coolers during a refrigerator malfunction, they donated all 35,000 pounds of their perishable goodies to charity instead. The Trader Joe's of Kalamazoo, Michigan, experienced some technical difficulties in their cooling system on Wednesday. Most businesses in the food industry, if faced with the same dilemma, would simply call a mechanic and attempt to save the food before it all goes bad and ends up in the garbage. Trader Joe's policy, however, requires their stores to donate all of their perishables to charity. The groceries from last week's malfunction were donated to Kalamazoo Gospel Mission, a local shelter that serves over 600 meals to the city's homeless every single day. Though 95% of their food is donated, the ministry says that the Trader Joe's donation is the single largest contribution they've ever received. Greg Weaver, director of food service at the mission, told WXMI, "They called us and we were able to mobilize a team within an hour that consisted of staff and volunteers. They just really exemplified a culture of generosity, and we're just so thankful for them," he added. Isn't that awesome? And it's a write-off. Why not give it to them, right? It's good for you. It's good for the community. Everybody feels good. Some positive ripples. Win, win, win. Absolutely awesome. Now this last one I find particularly interesting because, honestly, it is a concept that hadn't crossed my mind yet. And I don't claim to have thought of everything, but this is pretty cool. An old collapsed coal mine in China is being given new life as the location of the world's largest floating solar farm. It had never crossed my mind, a floating solar farm. Brilliant, really, when you think about it. The solar farm, which is being built in Huainan, takes the record-breaking title from another solar farm within the city that currently generates 40 megawatts. The new one will provide electricity for 94,000 homes, nearly quadrupling capacity to 150 megawatts. The $150 million facility is being built atop a lake that sprang up over a collapsed coal mine. Construction began in July and is expected to be finished in May 2018, which is only a few months away. This is not the first environmentally sustainable initiative that China has launched to curb their coal use. Last month, the Asian giant announced the launch of the world's largest carbon trading market. Putting a price on carbon is the right signal to send in this blue sky deprived world, says Li Shou, Senior Global Policy Advisor at Greenpeace East Asia. By doing so, Beijing also positions itself ahead of major industrialized countries, many of whom are still seeing climate action as a burden rather than as an opportunity. Isn't that absolutely awesome? And I have to say, the writer of this article totally read my mind there. So why are these other countries doing all this stuff before we are, right? It's really funny, for the last 3 years, I've been doing this good news report, and I source it from all sorts of, I mostly go to the goodnews.org, but I look through all sorts of different sites too. I'm online all the time. I'm constantly, sharing good news. I think that's the key to a lot of making people feel better and uplifting people by sharing a lot of positive stuff. I rarely see big stuff like that coming from Canada or the States. And it's unfortunate that it's the other countries that are, getting rid of the plastic bags, getting rid of the different plastic things, putting up the solar farms, helping their people. What a novel concept, helping your own people. Hey, I think we should try that sometime. I think that's pretty awesome. So, we live in a very stressful world. For a country, I mockingly quite often use the term first world because we think we're so awesome and we think we're so ahead of the game, but we're so behind in so many things. And this leads to stress. And stress, my friends, kills. That's not new. Stress has been killing people for as long as there's anything to be stressful about. But times have changed. Now people get stressed about unseen factors. They get stressed about things that they cannot control. They cannot do a darn thing about, but it carries a stress, and then next thing you know, they get disease, right? That's what it is. It's all tied in together. Stress, things being inflamed, disease, not being able to eat properly. All these things all tie in together. So it's very important that you try to de-stress yourself as much as possible. Do whatever makes your heart hum. Don't take that over time. Don't live to work and work to live. If you want to just go and sit by the beach and put your feet in the sand, I think you should go do that. If you want to go and just have a day that you walk around the mall, if that's your thing. I don't know how that'd not be stressful, but if that's your thing, whatever, then do that. Whatever it is that makes you feel good, it is so imperative to you having a good life that you do things that just don't stress you out. You like to read, go read. You like to meditate, go meditate. So, before we're done here with the good news, 20 scientifically backed ways to de-stress right now. So, first one, go for a 10-minute walk. Number 2, breathe deeply. We've heard a lot about that in the last few years. Number 3, visualize. I'm going to extend on that. Visualize you're somewhere else than where you are. Visualize you're on that beach. Visualize you're on the cruise. Visualize you're doing something. Visualize, I don't know, whatever it is that makes your heart hum, visualize that you're doing it. And visualize that you can smell it. And visualize that you can see it. Make it so real like you feel like you're right there. Next one, eat a snack mindfully, right? Chill out. Enjoy it. They talk about fine wine and rolling it on your palate and all that stuff. Do it with chips. Do it with nuts. Do it with whatever you're eating. Slow down. Enjoy it. Especially if it's something from nature. Think about what a blessing it is that thing grew. And it is absolutely in its perfection going to help you in your perfection. You complement each other and it keeps you alive. Amazing, amazing, amazing. Buy yourself a plant. I knew they were beautiful air purifiers, but researchers are saying being around plants can induce your relaxation response. And it's the energy. They're putting out energy, right? Just like we are. Step away from the screen. We're hearing about that. Turn your technology off, right? Here's a good one. Pucker up. Kissing relieves stress by helping your brain to release endorphins, says WebMD. And this is pretty cool. A study of 2,000 couples from Northwestern University researcher Laura Berman, PhD, found that those who only kissed when they had sex We're 8 times more likely to report feeling chronically stressed or depressed. Well, I'd say so. Hang up and then turn off your phone. Right? Cell phones stress you out, no question about it. Talking can even raise your blood pressure. Absolutely true. Put on some music, especially positive music, right? Don't put on Debbie Downer stuff. Treat yourself to a candy. Hey, have yourself that's like a little blast of chocolate, a little blast of sweets. Or, on the other hand, above it had said to unplug your technology. If you use it properly, plug it in. I do. When I need to be de-stressed, we don't have cable. We do everything online. We monitor everything we expose ourselves to. Quite often, I'll just put on YouTube and I just look up stand-up comic or whatever, just something to give us a laugh. Next one, eat a piece of gum. And bubble gum. Eat a piece of bubble gum. Chew it, blow some bubbles, have a great old time. Watch a viral video. Do progressive muscle relaxation. So where you relax, tighten, and then relax. And then tighten, and then relax. And quite often that's a part of meditation, right? Where they go through all the different parts of your body. You can do that yourself in your head. Turning off your phone. Spend time with your BFF. Eat a banana or a potato. They are high in potassium, and both of those being high in potassium helps regulate your blood pressure, which rises during times of stress. There you go. Do some yoga and do some crafts. So there you go. There's a lot of great ideas to help you de-stress no matter where you are, because you never know when it's coming. And make sure you stay on top of your game. Take control. We feel so powerless these days, and that's what we need to do. We need to take control. We have control of our money and where we spend it. You don't support big corporations. Spend as much of it local as you can. Sometimes that's easier said than done, but do the best you can with what you have around yourself. You have the power of what you put in your mouth as far as what food is. You have the power of what medicine you use. Is it food or is it medicine? Do. And then, of course, the power of what you think. What you think is so important, and so often we just let those thoughts, run by default, and we need to stop and just ask ourselves, or put yourself in check, or stop the madness and sing a goofy little song like Lamb Chops, the song that never ends. Right? You remember that one? No, I'm not singing it, because then it'll be in my head for the rest of the day. But little things like that help you just stop the stress, stop the chatter, and then a fresh start. You don't have to wait for a new day to get in a better frame of mind, right? And you control your emotions. Don't let your emotions control you. Very, very important. So that's the good news for today. I hope you enjoyed it. All those articles I will be posting on the Positive Power page for you to check out at your convenience.